So today what I'm going to be making is grilled chicken, a whole grilled chicken. I'm using spicy bean paste. I made a concoction basically with turmeric, garlic, and so I cut the chicken, opened it up on the back side like this, and so it lays out flat like that. Little guy with the wings here. Hi! And what I'm going to do with this chicken is I'm just going to put it into the sauce that I have here that I've already made and mixed up. I'm going to let it marinate there for a little bit of time. Start my grill, take you out there and see it. And so I'm going to go ahead and dump it in here, and I am going to cover it with seasoning. So that's it. I'm going to let it sit for a little bit. So I'll see you in a couple of hours. Just washing my hands. Always gotta wash your hands after you do something like this. Alright, so there we go. Put the chicken on, breast side down. So we're gonna leave it on there for a couple of minutes, close the lid, and then turn it over to the other side. And then you're gonna just take a brush and just baste it. There we go. So you're just going to flip it over, make sure that the legs are down on the bottom near the heat, keep the breast on the top, temperature shortly, to make sure that it's not overcooking inside. Oh yeah, and just keep basting. So keep putting that flavor on there and letting it cook, slow cook in there. While we're waiting for the chicken to finish, we're going to go ahead and just make some quinoa, put it inside of the pot. Basically, I mean, I don't even measure this out. I just put water in there until it covers the quinoa a couple of centimeters above the top of it, and then I add some spices and stuff in there, so I'll show you that in a second. There's a pretty good amount of salt in there. And then we're also making just some bok choy. I'm going to make saute some mushrooms and saute that, throw the bok choy in it, flip the camera around so we can see, and then we'll get to chopping. Okay, got everything sliced and diced, and we're gonna turn on the heat over here to high because that's how I like it, and I'm gonna turn it down. I mean, I don't want my garlic to burn, but I turn it up to high first. I like to hear it sizzle, and so that's the way that it works for me. Sometimes inside of bok choy there'll be some dirt in there, so you want to make sure you rinse it carefully and get the dirt out. These were pretty clean actually. Okay, so here we go. The wok is hot, so we're going to take some extra virgin olive oil, sprinkle it in there. You can be a little bit liberal with it and go ahead and drop it in. See, I love that. That's what it's about right there. So when you put the garlic in there, or onions, I didn't put onions into this, but either one, if you're using either one, just make sure you get some salt in there. Just stir it around a little bit. And you can already see, I mean, basically when you smell the garlic, that's when you gotta kind of drop the temperature. I turned the temperature down a bit, down to medium, because I didn't want my garlic burning. All right, and then I got the bok choy. And you see how much bok choy is in here. This isn't a lot of bok choy. As with spinach or any of these other the green vegetables, the leafy green vegetables, you don't really want them soggy unless you like them like that. So you kind of don't want them in here for too long, so that they get covered with all the flavor there. On my quinoa. Quinoa's almost done. Now with quinoa and rice, as soon as the water has been absorbed until the water is underneath the grain, you leave the heat on. As soon as the water is underneath the grain, you can turn the heat off and just let it continue to kind of absorb. You keep it on the heat, but let it continue to absorb the water without the heat. Otherwise, you're going to burn your grain. You can see. It's nice. You know, it's always nice to have color. It smells delicious. We don't want this to cook down too far. So we're just going to go ahead and turn the heat off. If you look at the quinoa, if you can see it without getting steamed up. Nope. you can see that it's almost done, and you really shouldn't do that. Really shouldn't take the top off of any grain while the water is being absorbed into the grain, because that's what you want. You want it to absorb into the grain. Yeah, I know I gotta work on my plating skills, but anyway, yeah, just a grilled chicken with it's a bean curry, bean paste. Thank you guys so much for joining me on my first episode of In the Kitchen with Brooks Wellness. All right, take care.